I witnessed a beer was very obviously like a paid date of some kind when I was in Japan. And this could very well have not been a paid date. These two people could have been very much in love with each other. But I doubt that very strongly. And you will, as I tell the story, you will come to understand why I doubt that. So I was at the Krispy Kreme in Shibuya. I was in line. I was in line. Two things actually happened in this story. I was in line, and there was like a family of foreigners in front of me, and they were trying to order, and they were, they're struggling obviously because of the language barrier. They're just kind of like pointing to things, and the clerk is kind of like trying to figure out what they want. Eventually they figure it out and they get their order. But the clerk, she was wearing a mask, but I could tell she was very like she was a little bit distressed, right? I mean, she's probably used to dealing with it, but yeah, it's always an anxiety-inducing thing when you have to interact with someone who doesn't speak the same language as you in like a retail setting, right? So I'm right behind them, right? And she's like helping them out, and I could tell she's a little bit frazzled. And so they get up to the register and it's my turn, and she's like looking at me, and I could tell she's just like, okay, I got to do this again. Like, all right. I start ordering in Japanese, and the relief on like her shoulders just like dropped. Like, I could see the relief in her eyes when I started ordering in Japanese. She was so relieved. I get my order, and I sit down. And as I'm sitting down, I notice out of the corner of my eye this girl dressed in Jidaike fashion. So she was dressed kind of similar to this. She had on the very heavy makeup that exaggerated like the eye bags. She had the whole shebang on, right? And she is sitting with this stereotypical Japanese otaku looking man. Is the best way I can describe him. He was a bit disheveled. He was slightly receding hairline from what I could tell. He had a bag full of like anime like keychains and stuff. He was a bit overweight as well. I'm not trying to be rude. That's just what he looked like, right? That's just what he looked like. And she was giggling, she was kicking her feet, she was like really playing it up, right? She was into it. She was so into what she was doing. But like, I just remember I was trying not to be rude, right? But I just like couldn't stop, but I just couldn't help but just like peek over at them every few minutes. I was like, wow, like she's that girl. She is that girl. She's the Jirai girl. She's the Jirai girl. I wish them both the best.